Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brady Grove bringing you a special interlude episode of Roto Bowler's official MMA podcast. Tap that. You all know that I love the Eastern Kentucky University Athletics program. From all sides of it, Professor Jim Blair has been on this show several times talking about the growth of the EKU athletics department and their upward trajectory. And with me today, he's got personal best in the 800 of a minute and 53.53 seconds, the 1500, 3 minutes, 46.62 seconds, 3000 8 minutes, 12.81 seconds, and the 5K, 14:12.14. He is out of Barcelona, Spain. Joan Tapias. How's it going, man? Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here with you. Interesting opportunity to speak here with you.
And I didn't even mention, the fact that you run cross country for EKU, indoor and outdoor track. You've been all OVC and all ASUN several times. You've made all academic, several times too. So credit to you on that. But here's the thing, man. So I see that on your previous school, it says Pampa Faber University. So what was your amateur career like in Spain leading up to your time at Eastern Kentucky?
So when I started the university in Spain, I didn't have the level to just focus on running and do like nothing else. So you gotta go to university. That's mainly what you do, right? And at the university in Spain, there's no athletic program. They don't help you at all in any aspect of training. So it was kind of like non-stop all the day, like waking up really early, go to class, drive like 90 minutes to go to practice, drive 90 minutes back to go to class again, homework, study. It was like non-stop. But it was working. Like you were training like a professional athlete, but the university doesn't give you anything like, okay, you're an athlete, we are gonna give you these facilities, or you're gonna have these classes that are around your practice time. No, none of that. So it was really hard.
It's interesting too, because I see here that you also represented Spain at the 2018 European Under 20 Cross Country Championships.
Yes.
So it's crazy that, like, it seems like in Europe, at least with Olympic kind of sports, or sports that are outside, some of the more popular in the world, it seems like it's a lot more state and government, or for the country, as opposed to like individual university athletics.
Yes, exactly. So all the support that I was getting to run my sport, most of the support was coming from the federation, so from the government. The government was giving you some kind of funds to fund like you to go to a physical therapist, to buy shoes, to buy stuff. The federation, so the government, was providing you that money. The university doesn't want to know anything about it. We have some intercollegiate university competitions in running, but they don't really care. And people who goes to these intercollegiate competitions that I went once, thinking, oh, it may be cool. People just go there like to party and to have a good time. There's no like commitment to, oh, we go there to compete. It's like just like party, alcohol, and do whatever.
It's such a stark difference from the way things work in the United States. And how did you find your way to Eastern Kentucky?
So when I went to the European Championships representing Spain, head coach of EKU cross country was there, and he talked to me and to the opportunity that he wanted to give me to come to the US to train with them. And this really brought me in because I thought it's an opportunity that or you do it now or you're never going to go to the US to compete at NCAA level. And at EKU, there was two Spaniards that I knew already that were pretty famous in Spain. And I talked with them. They talked really good about the program and about the head coach. So I decided to buy in and fly to Richmond.
That's very interesting too, because EKU is a university and an athletics department that I think has been a really ahead of the curve of the direction that college sports is going. And look at EKU out there on the European scene, recruiting people from Spain to come run cross country and track. I love to see it.
It's crazy.
So like we kind of touched on it a little bit, but what have been some of the biggest differences, and just the way that your day-to-day athletic life goes now that you're at EKU opposed to competing in Spain?
Okay, so the main difference is like in Spain, you are with a coach, usually a national coach that trains you, and he's highly focused on you. Like he wants you long term. Instead, here in the US, it's more like you are more like a number, right? They still take care of you if you perform good, but you're going to be here just for 4 or 5 years. And after that, see ya. It's like, we want you to perform good in these 4 years. After that, we want you to perform good, but it's not our business. So, or if you're not performing good, it's like, oh, well, do whatever. We got other athletes that are coming. That's a bit the feeling that's here. So when you're performing good, it's perfect. But when you are not, it's hard here. Instead, in Spain, the coach is like, yeah, I want you to be with me like for the rest of your life until you cannot train anymore because you're too old. So they really focused on the personal level instead of in the US.
That's wild too. Because you'd think that, for the downsides of that, you also got to think like, the pressure isn't necessarily on you all of the time to perform at your best because there's other people that the coaches are focused on. There's very interesting, psychological pros and cons to that. But, you've been at EKU since 2019. And this is your 5th year of eligibility. You're a grad student, I believe. And so you've seen a lot of changes to college sports in your time here. This has been the most crazily changing time of college sports in the history of college athletics. And you've been there for pretty much the beginning, and now,
No, yeah.
So are you seeing like the transfer portal affect, cross country and track at any level? Like, are guys leaving to go to different places that they think is a situation that fits them better?
Yeah, the problem with that is that living through the transfer portal is hard. There's people who may not be like good where they are at, and they want to change and they think, oh, maybe at this university I'm going to be better. But sometimes it's better the known than the bad to know. You know what I mean? And also the fact that if you try to transfer to another university, coaches usually don't take it good. They're like, we want you to stay here. We don't want you to go somewhere else. So they're gonna there's even some policies within teams like, okay, if you transfer, we are not gonna bring you to this meets. We are not gonna compete here. You're not gonna do that. And this happens everywhere. This happens at TKU, at Wake Forest, and all universities that I have friends to. And there's sometimes a little bit like, I got this friend, he was in Wake Forest. He told to the coach, hey, like, this is my last season. Next season, I'm transferring. The coach was like, sounds good. Okay, thanks for letting us know. And when cross country finished, because he was an important piece of the cross country season, but he wanted to keep running for outdoors and indoors. But the coach said, oh, but you're transferring, so you're not running. Damn. So he just missed a whole indoor and outdoor season that he just couldn't even compete or train with the team at Wake Forest. So that's pretty hard, and no one in track and field and cross country wants to miss any season. So transferring, it will mean like the possibility of missing a season and the possibility that all your work that you did over the season or last years you're not gonna be able to compete. That's the fun part. So it's pretty hard.
Damn. Hey, that is hard. I mean, to miss that time of competing, and it seems like something that's catching these guys by surprise.
Yeah. I mean, that's the play that the university display. It's the game, you know, like we want you to keep here, and if you leave and nothing happens to you, everyone is gonna want to leave. You know, so we need to make some measures because the transfer portal is really effective. Like you can just go to the athletics department of each university and be like, "Hey, I want to transfer," and they want to help you because you can do that. But there's gonna be some cons that are gonna limit your willingness to transfer.
No, it's definitely a thing that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, especially outside of the sports of basketball and football and baseball. And on that note, the NIL has come up since you've
Yes.
been at EK, and it's something that me and Professor Jim Blair love to talk about. I love to think about it constantly. The possibilities are endless. And we've definitely seen a bunch of women's sports grow exponentially as a result of the NIL. Volleyball, track, soccer, all these sports are growing because of it. And we're seeing a lot of female track athletes and cross country runners, grow on TikTok and on Instagram. But for you and your teammates and friends that you have at other schools, what do athletes in male cross country and male track and field see as their opportunities in NIL right now?
Yeah, so people who is big in social media, it's a great opportunity to monetize some money, right, with the content they create. There's guys on the team that they really like social media, they like to put all the content out there, and yeah, it's an opportunity to make money. Like, and it's crazy. Many guys on the team have some NIL deals that they get, or free products, some money to exchange. It's a great opportunity to grow as an athlete, to get products and to get benefits. Yeah, and then there's like the superstars from football, basketball that get these super big contracts with Nike. In track and field also happens. The top guys on cross country track and field get like NIL deals with Nike or Adidas, and it's a big boost for them and for Adidas too, and these brands.
I was talking to my wife last night about what we were going to talk about today. And, she was pointing out, like, what are the NIL opportunities for, runners in college? Because it's not one of the more popular American sports traditionally at the college level. I was like, but you got to think about how many running products there are out there. Like there is a whole more of shoes and apparel and so many different products for runners out there. It seems like the endorsement opportunities, at many different levels of scale are available to people.
Yeah, and especially I think it's more important the running community is not that big, but the running community who follows NCAA and follows runners is there, and they're really following these athletes. They're following me and other athletes, and they're like, oh, this guy is doing that, or this guy is doing that. So like this, it's called like micro influencers. Like you got like less than 10K followers on Instagram or anywhere else, but there's still like this small community that follows you and it's willing to spend their money on things that I'm gonna tell them and it works for me.
You get it. You get it because that is absolutely, what we're seeing happen. And, and say take women's volleyball, for instance, if you don't have to market that to 5 million people, but if you're marketing a specific kind of volleyball product to a group of people that are, in high school on Instagram and take high school volleyball very seriously, there's a market for that. And I know, so talk a little bit about what you're in grad school for, and how like your the information and knowledge you're picking up from participating in college athletics is kind of melding with whatever what you're studying in grad school.
So now I'm in grad school and I'm doing a master in sports science.
Cool.
Yeah, I decided to take this master because, well, it relates to my sport. I want to know more about the sport, about the physiology, about how to optimize my training, also how to manage sports organizations. For example, like if in the future, one of my options to be a head coach. So they give us all of this information on first, like how to train, biology, training methodologies, research, and also how to manage organizations in a way that, well, you first like it's really important to stand by ethics. Like there's a lot of ethical dilemmas that happen everywhere, and I think it's kind of hard to see teams that actually hold the values that they say that they have, like, so this is really important. This is the main thing, like ethical, like I seen a lot of programs that they got like big scandals, like this coach did that, these were cheating, now there's a doping here, and it's like, guys, like the sport is about winning, but the sport is about like sharing some values, right, with the athletes and fairness and fair play. And this gets a little bit lost, mainly because all the money that's in the sports right now, all the money that comes from the TV rights, NIL, and all this, people go crazy. And it's important to keep the ethicals like straight.
And this is an era where Saudi money is getting involved in college sports really quickly.
Yes.
Not only that, 5 years ago, if I told you that I was watching, some random track event on ESPN Plus, you'd think that's crazy. But now so almost every event in college athletics is getting broadcast in one way or another. And you just mentioned is doping, like, is that a problem in college cross country and track? Is that something that is there but doesn't get talked about as much on the national level?
Well, more at the international level, like cycling, there's like this suspicion that this guy is doping, but there's like controls at the NCAA level. There's anti-doping controls. There's not been many positives, but what I was thinking about, it was like this high school runner that got tested positive a couple of weeks ago.
Damn.
Yeah, and he was supposed to sign, I think, with Georgia, but yeah, like he got tested positive. He said he didn't do it, that he didn't get drugs or anything. They sampled the B sample too, like they tested B sample to see like if he was saying the truth, and turned out to be positive again. So yeah, he's banned from sports.
Oh man. Eh, that's crazy that someone at the high school level is doing that. It's
Yes.
such a big opportunity. But yeah, I know. So you talked a little bit about what you want to do in the future, but I know you had mentioned to me that you're thinking about starting a podcast, for the running
Yes.
community. So talk about, that, what you would want to accomplish with that, and, how you want to, if you would, stay involved in the college running scene, or, keep running a part of your life moving forward.
Yeah, of course. So our idea is to start a podcast of running and talk about NCAA running, feel even more like this space that there is a lot of like small community of runners that they want even more like social media or people who talks about it, because there's not that many as in football or MMA or whatever. So we want to fill in this gap. And especially what my idea is to focus on is on these high schools that always think like, oh, college athletes, that they love college athletes, they want to be a college athlete. I would like to focus on them, on how is it to live here in college, our experiences, the classes, how is everything going, funny stories. That's the needs that I want to focus on. And later on, the idea is like try to help the audience that we built of high schoolers, mainly help them how to get a scholarship or how to get into the college that they want.
That's awesome, man. Well, this has been a very enlightening conversation on the current state of NCAA cross country and track and field, and it speaks to what's going on in all of the sports. And that I have great respect for Eastern Kentucky University. That is a place that has a vision for where they want to be in the future, as the future of college sports is shaking out right now. So I can't, it seems like it's been a great place for you to spend your time,
Sure.
as a college athlete. But folks, this has been Joan Tapias. I might have butchered that. That was my best attempt.
That was good. That was good.
But man, it's been a great conversation. This has been another interlude episode of RotoBallers official MMA podcast. Have that. Is there, if there's anything you want to say, anything you want to shout out, the floor is yours.
Okay, so watch out this season for EKU cross country. They're gonna win the regional meet. Right now, they're ranked fourth in the region at the preseason level, and my expectation is that EKU is gonna win that meet, that regional meet, and it's gonna be in the top 10 in the nation in cross country.
Woo! Well, you heard it here, folks. Thanks for listening. Thank you to our guest, Joan Tapias.
No problem.
Have yourself a great week, folks. Thanks for listening. Peace.